International Women's Day is a day for honoring the accomplishments of women the world over, and we at the International Women's Meditation Center have created the Outstanding Women in Buddhism Awards. For the year 2010, the awards were presented at the Association for the Promotion of the Status of Women in Bangkok, Thailand. The following is a presentation of the biographies of the award winners of that year. Bhikkhuni Ming Yu of Taiwan. Bhikkhuni Ming Yu grew up in a town known for its scenic beauty of hills and lovely lake. She enjoyed her girlhood there very much when young and took refuge in the Triple Gem with the guidance of her grandmother. When it came time for high school, she and her family moved to Taipei City, and there she completed studies. She earned her BA at Ming Chuang College's Faculty of Business and Commerce, well known for graduating successful business people. After college, she worked in a company specializing in precious metals trading. However, another seed was planted in her heart. During her college years, she participated in many Dharma activities and also took refuge under Zi Yu of Sealand Monastery. In 1989, when the Chinese Young Buddhist Association was forming, she became a founding member, and for 16 years thereafter served as its office manager, bringing Dharma to the general public. She organized and coordinated the 1999 International Buddhist Public Relations Seminar, the 2000 21st Century Buddhist Sangha Education Seminar, the 2001 First International Buddhist Youth Forum, the 2001 International Conference for Religious Cooperation and Peace, the Counseling Outreach Program for Prisons, Dhamma camps at juvenile correctional facilities, regular Dhamma talks in prisons, and workshops bringing Dharma to youth and to the public in general. She was awarded the Taiwan Ministry of Interior's 1998 award, National Award for Best NGO Staff, and the Outstanding Woman in Buddhism Award in 2010. Bhikkhuni Ming Yu was ordained in 2006 in New York, USA by Venerable Miao Feng, and in late 2006 took Bhikshuni and Bodhisattva precepts with Venerable G.D. In 2009, Bhikkhuni Ming Yu was elected as president of the Taipei Bodhi Buddhist Society, and in the same year was given the Secretary General post of the Chinese Young Buddhist Association, CYBA. Bhikkhuni Dr. Ziru Nig of Singapore. Born and raised in Singapore, Bhikshuni Dr. Ziru Nig became first attracted to Buddhism when she was completing high school. At that time, her grandmother passed away. While chanting during the funeral, she felt an urgent impulse to understand the Buddhist worldview of life and death. She began to frequent Buddhist temples and centers to practice ritual recitation of the Buddhist sutras and explore Buddhist teachings. She became one of the pioneers to set up the Mahaprajna Buddhist Society, where she studied and taught Buddhism for 4 to 5 years. Upon receiving her BA with honors in English literature from the National University of Singapore, she immediately took up the robes at a local Buddhist center, the Mahaprajna Buddhist Society. Shortly after, she went to Taiwan to receive full ordination precepts and undertake monastic training. Subsequently, she went to the United States to pursue graduate studies. She first studied Sanskrit and Indian Buddhist literature at the University of Michigan, where she received her MA degree. She then trained in East Asian religious history at the University of Arizona, where she received her PhD. Beginning August 2000, she has been teaching at Pomona College, a liberal arts undergraduate university in Southern California, where she is now an associate professor of religious studies, specializing in teaching Buddhism and Chinese religions. She published a book on the formation of the Dizang Kitti-Gaba cult in medieval China and is currently writing a manuscript on art, charity, and Buddhist authority in contemporary Taiwan. Her research interests include Mahayana Buddhist devotion, Buddhist images and ritual practices, and contemporary Taiwanese Buddhism. Most of her research and publications highlight an interdisciplinary approach that combines field research with the study of Buddhist history, texts, and art in order to analyze religion as lived traditions. In her previous publications, she has regularly integrated art, historical, and archaeological findings into her research. More recently, she has also begun to integrate ethnographic fieldwork. Her awards are numerous, including the Outstanding Woman in Buddhism Award of 2010, the Graves Award for Excellence in Teaching, West Coast North American Liberal Arts Competition, the University of Arizona's Dean's Fellow Award, and the China Times Young Scholars Award. She has been a senior fellow at the Harvard University Center for the Study of World Religions and is currently completing her book manuscript on Taiwanese Buddhism as a visiting senior research fellow at the Asia Research Institute in Singapore. Bhikshuni Dr. Karuna Dharma, USA. Bhikshuni Dr. Karuna Dharma earned a BA in English at the University of California, an MA in secondary education at California State University, a second MA in comparative religions, and a doctorate of Dharma in Buddhist studies, both from the University of Oriental Studies in Los Angeles, California, USA. Ordained in 1976, the Venerable is the United States' first bhikkhuni. Her teacher was the Venerable Bhiksu, Dr. Thich Thi An. Together, they established the International Buddhist Meditation Center, Chau, Vietnam, the first Vietnamese U.S. temple, and the University of Oriental Studies. She has served as past president of the American Buddhist Congress, vice president of the Buddhist Sangha Council, vice president of the College of Buddhist Studies, founding president of Sakyadhita, founding member of the Buddhist Catholic Dialogue of Los Angeles, California. As abbess of the International Buddhist Meditation Center for the past 10 years, Bhikkhuni Dr. Karuna Dharma has been writing to prisoners around the U.S. She explains, about 80 of them are studying Buddhism with me. Another 500 of them receive the monthly guide every month. So I spend a lot of my time in front of a computer. My staff has taken on a lot of my duties at the center, leaving me time to do my prison work. Besides ordaining people, I believe my prison work is the most valuable work I do. I rarely visit the prisons, however. Most of my work with prisoners is through writing to them. It is very beautiful work and skillful use of the older years in life. Bhikshuni Dr. Karuna Dharma also performs ceremonies, teaches, and does interfaith and intersectarian Buddhist work. She is well known and profiled in meetings with remarkable women, Buddhist teachers in America. Bhikshuni Dr. Karuna Dharma has also contributed to Buddhism through American Women's Eyes, edited Zen philosophy, Zen practice, co-authored an early journey, Buddhist Catholic Dialogue, co-authored Buddhist Concept of Mind, and contributed to Buddhist Concepts by American Disciples. Venerable Bhikshuni Dr. Karuna Dharma has conducted several higher ordination ceremonies to date. In 1981, the first grand ordination ceremony in English. In 1994, the first grand ordination on all levels in all three lineages with Venerable Bhikkhu Dr. Ratanasara. In 1997, the second grand ordination ceremony, and in 2004, the third grand ordination ceremony, in which Western monastics flew in from many countries abroad to attend. Bhikkhuni Dhammavichayani of Thailand. Bhikkhuni Dhammavichayani is an architect by training. She completed a BA in architecture from Silapakorn University, Thailand, and an MA in architecture from the University of Chicago, Illinois, USA. Though she worked in an architectural team successfully, she saw suffering at work. She sought peace beyond the confines of the workplace. After she practiced meditation at a Goenka center, she gained greater insight into herself. Gradually, her faith and wisdom in Buddhism increased. She began to feel that insight into herself via vipassana meditation was more important than being rich or having fame through her career as an architect. Bhikkhuni Dhammavichayani has expertise in Thai, English, French, and German. She began to use her language skills in translation projects for Buddhism. Last year, she became a bhikkhuni. Now she lives in the sugarcane fields of her mother's land in Uthai Thani province, where she is making a meditation center called Dhamma Abode. Bhikkhuni Dhammavichayani enjoys teaching vipassana meditation. She also teaches a samadhi form of repetitive motion meditation. She adapts the meditation techniques which she teaches as is useful to the person seeking her instruction. Seminary Dr. Tashi Trajon of Malaysia. Dr. Tashi Trajon of Malaysia holds a Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering and a Master of Science in Highway and Transportation Engineering from University Sains, Malaysia. Her PhD is in Environmental and Resource Studies, Traditional Knowledge and Natural Resource Management from Mahidol University, Thailand. Dr. Tashi Trajon has coordinated several social development, sustainable livelihood projects for indigenous communities funded by the United Nations Development Program. She balances her spiritual life and volunteer work, contributing expertise to Malaysia and Indonesia in high conservation value assessment. She has authored 2 books and several articles pertaining to community-based conservation. Dr. Tashi Trajon, in addition to being an environmental sociologist, is also a Tibetan Buddhist nun. Her first Dhamma teacher was a Thai Mechi named Mechi Ari. She also studied with the late Bhikkhu Sri Dhammananda. After reading Sogyal Rinpoche's bestseller, The Tibetan Book of the Living and Dying, she became interested in Tibetan Buddhism. Dr. Tashi Trajon has taught at the Buddhist Institute Sunday Dharma School, the Metta Karuna Animal Rescue Team, and the Sakidita International Conference, held in Malaysia. At that meeting, she met Venerable Sonam Wangmo of Bhutan, who later became her spiritual guide in helping to fulfill her aspiration to become a Buddhist nun. Now, Dr. Tashi Trajon studies with Venerable Sonam Wangmo and Lama Nga Wang. Mechi Ari Kiet Tap Thieu of Thailand. Mechi Ari holds a BA in Humanities and was an American Friends Service Exchange student to the USA. Before ordaining, she worked in business and even had her own small company. As a young girl, she was given away by her parents to another family. When her foster mother became older, she worked very hard to support her. Yet one day, her foster mother left to go to live with her son in the USA. Alone and questioning, she decided to ordain herself and shaved her head and donned white robes to practice as a Buddhist Mechi. Eventually, she ordained formally and then for 12 years wandered and studied Dharma and meditation in the north and northeast of Thailand, seeking solitude. Now Mechi Ari lives in the northeast of Thailand on a mountain along with other women practitioners. She teaches Samadhi meditation and Anapanasati, awareness of breath. Unique in her approach is a body-centered focus of meditation which includes yoga. Her positive approach to life, as well as her excellence in teaching meditation and yoga, have brought her an international reputation. Mechi Ari teaches across Thailand wherever invited, and particularly at Swanmok International Retreat Center in southern Thailand. She has also taught at the Bhawana Society USA and received invitations from Thais living in the USA to teach in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. She has taught Westerners in New Jersey, North Carolina, and Georgia. In addition, Mechi Ari has taught meditation and yoga in Penang, Malaysia. Mechi Ari is grateful to have been born a human being, to meet Buddhism, practice Dharma, and be peaceful and calm in order to benefit herself and other human beings. Mrs. Ruri Sato of Japan. Mrs. Sato is raising up 5 children in a small temple in the mountains of her hometown. The Japanese are said to be materialistic and leading an affluent life, but people become mentally ill and commit suicide. She sometimes worries and suffers in her home life just like common people, so she seeks to create the opportunity for people who get wounded and who worry to meet Buddhism. For this purpose, Mrs. Sato has painted, created music, and written books. Her paintings, one-woman shows, express the benevolent spirit of Buddhism. A recent exhibit was for the Olympic Games in August 2008 at the Olympic Museum in Xiamen City, China. A Chinese person came to Japan in 2003 and sympathized with the benevolence expressed in her artwork, and 5 years later invited her to show her work in China at the Olympic Museum. So now in her hometown, she is preparing facilities for introducing the cultures of Asia. Mrs. Sato published a music CD in 2008 and a small book in 2007, and is now writing a new book. She conveys the contents of Buddhism without using any difficult Buddhist words. A peaceful spirit of Buddhism flows in the cultures of Asian countries. Mrs. Sato hopes the flow becomes bigger and results in the disappearance of wars in all regions of the world. This is possible as all things in the world are related and are changing each other. She notes that putting the ego unlimitedly close to zero and living supported by a peaceful mind with each other will be the important compass for the earth in the 21st century. Dr. Woraporn Chamsanit of Thailand. Dr. Woraporn Chamsanit holds a BA in English from Thammasat University, Thailand, an MA in Women's Studies from Rutgers University, New Jersey, USA, and a PhD in Anthropology from the National Australian University. Dr. Woraporn is the Acting Director of the Office of Human Rights Studies and Social Development at Mahidol University. She also serves as the Program Director for the International MA and PhD programs in Human Rights and is a board member of the Foundation for Women and of the Global Alliance Against Trafficking in Women. She conducts research and writes extensively on the human rights of Buddhist women in Thailand. Her PhD dissertation, for example, was titled Reconnecting the Lost Lineage, Challenges to Institutional Denial of Buddhist Women's Monasticism in Thailand. She has also written Transnational Buddhist Women's Monasticism, Contesting the Boundaries of Thai Buddhism. Another, The Monk, Sexes, and the State, Women's Monasticism in Thai Buddhism. And another, The Gender of the Sangha and the Reform and Bureaucratization of Thai Buddhism. Dr. Woraporn Chamsanit conducts research on and/or supervises research to protect the human rights of children, indigenous people, gays and lesbians, and women. Nart Rudi Den Duong of Thailand. Assistant Professor Nart Rudi Den Duong was born in Bangkok and graduated with a BA from Silpakorn University and an MA from Mahidol University. She worked at Thammasat University, non-governmental organizations, and at New Life magazine as an assistant editor. She is now an assistant professor of health, sociology, and feminism at the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities of Mahidol University. Natradi works with marginalized and vulnerable people, women and children living in remote areas and on the borders of Thailand. She and her colleagues have worked to prevent malaria, parasites, and foodborne illnesses. She works to improve living standards and eradicate social discrimination. Assistant Professor Natradi Den Dong promotes gender equality and women's rights. Have you ever asked yourself, how can I participate in changing the policies, laws, and social structures in Thailand to be gender equal? She has and works at the academic level, the community level, and also at changing the society. She offers wisdom and compassion on many committees: the 10th National Women's Plan, Stopping Sexual Harassment at the Workplace, CEDAW, Committee on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, the Best Practices for Promoting Gender Equality in Government Organizations, Planned Parenthood Association, and others. Her movement strategies to implement gender equality in Thailand are to deconstruct mystifications, sensitize morals, and empower people to remove human rights violations. Natradi Den Dong teaches about gender sensitivity and gender mainstreaming by creating curriculums, handbooks, manuals, training, and lectures. Her most recent book is The Power and Conflict on Women's Bodies: Young Women's Reproductive Rights. Assistant Professor Natradi Den Dong is a Buddhist woman of compassionate action who is raising women's status, resisting violence, supporting moral standards, and human rights. Supaporn Asawachai-chan of Thailand. Achan Supaporn Asawachai-chan holds a BA and MA in Economics from Thammasat University, Thailand, and an MA in Development Studies from the Institute of Social Studies of The Hague, Netherlands. Achan Supaporn dedicated her life to working at Silopakorn University and over the years has used her talents as a faculty member, department head, and associate dean. Achan Supaporn is a Buddhist economist. She analyzes macroeconomics and the world economy from a Buddhist perspective. At Mahidol University, she presented The Economic Crisis of the United States of America from the Perspective of Buddhism. At the International Conference on Buddhism in the World Economic Crisis held in October 2009, she presented Buddhism and the Financial Crisis. Achan Supaporn also authored Money, Human's Master or Servant. Her peaceful, simple, and insightful solutions to solving the economic crisis have been well heeded and appreciated by the Thai and international community alike. Wanirat Sornprasit of Thailand. Wanirat Sornprasit comes from southern Thailand. Her father was the village headman all of his life, and her mother looked after the rubber plantation. Wanirat studied engineering, earning a BA in Thailand and then an MA in Australia. She later taught at Prince of Songkhla University. Subsequently, she led the family commercial ice business. She has one daughter who is now married. She writes, "When I was young, I was full of doubts and wonders about the world around me and inside of me. Why was I born? What was the purpose of life? What is the best life to lead? Why do we have emotions like fear or anger? Why do we suffer? Where does the universe end?" When I grew up, I saw suffering and sorrow everywhere. Why beggars? Why prostitutes? Why are we highly educated, yet there are wars, poverty, and selfishness? I saw everyone, including myself, escaping from deep loneliness through entertainment, religious beliefs, national identification, and good work, and in the process creating havoc in the world. Wanirat became a Buddhist nun and sought spiritual teachers. She then discovered the teachings of Krishnamurti and came back to face life as an ordinary woman. Krishnamurti pointed out that there can only be lasting peace within oneself and society at large when there is an understanding of the nature of the consciousness by pure observation, which has nothing to do with thought, and further knowledge. I have devoted my life to understanding the self through the mirror of relationship with every aspect of life, work, ideas, people, things, and nature, in order to end separation at every level of my being, to live with total freedom. Therefore, I work to disseminate Krishnamurti's teachings, believing when one understands oneself, there will be peace on earth. 15 years ago, she started the Anvikshana Foundation, a registered charitable organization. There are 30 rai of stream garden retreat in forested land to allow the mind to slow its thoughts and heal body and mind. There is a library, meditation room atop a hill, cottages, 90 rai of virgin forest for animal and bird habitat. There is one area for private retreats and one for group activities. In 2009, 793 persons came and shared and learned at the Stream Garden Retreat, including 187 individual seekers, Thai, and international, and 53 group activities. There is an international annual gathering, a 5-day program for up to 65 people to have the opportunity to explore their consciousness. There is also the Art Village School. Many of the parents engage in gambling and drinking and neglect their children and deprive them of love and affection. In an informal setting, she has interesting activities for children to develop the art of looking at things around them and themselves.